Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of Tim Talks. I go to this quietly because my mate's asleep in the room but I've just got to get this video out there because I just watched it like earlier and it just really annoyed me. So yeah, it's just a short BBC clip, and I'm mainly going to be focusing on the the members of the public the BBC decided to show. Like, of all the people they had available to give their interpretation of how they feel this protest or this form of civil resistance, who they wanted to represent. It was like they got two of the same side, and also I think this really goes to show how biased the BBC is and how conservative they are, and how the fact that they don't want Just Stop Oil to succeed with their demands, which is no new further oil extraction. It's a really simple demand. It's basically part of the government's own manifesto. So look after people, which they're not doing. So I've already rambled on a while. Let's play the video. I'm going to play the video and then just stop it after the lady's spoken. So just let's play the video now.
Hello, good afternoon. The M25 remains closed at the Dartford crossing for a second day this lunchtime. Climate protesters scaled the QE2 bridge in the early hours of yesterday morning. Since then,
I suppose some people be like, why would they do that? I suppose I'm going to touch upon it when I talk to the talk about the people commentary, the other people like giving their viewpoints. But it's like a letter was given to Downing Street ages ago saying it's like, no, there can't be. The leading scientists, the brightest minds studying anthropogenic climate change are saying new oil extractions are a death sentence for people. Like, people are already dying from climate change, like anthropogenic climate change, like the floodings that are happening, or the heat waves that are happening, crop failures are happening. So it's a genocidal regime. It shouldn't laugh. It's devastating. Like, it's gonna wipe out all life on Earth if we don't address it. So these two, they know that, and they're willing to make a sacrifice. That's a huge sacrifice, isn't it? Getting up there, climbing that, it's not easy. People should see the video of Morgan telling about why he did it when he first got up there. You know, he's almost in tears. No one takes any joy disrupting. Anyway, let's just play it, and I'm just going to talk after this first lady's talked. Not this lady,
through the Dartford tunnels, with severe delays on the motorway and on surrounding routes. National Highways says it currently has no estimation of when the bridge will reopen, and it's caused anger locally.
Here we go.
I'm actually enraged by it. Everybody has a right to protest, but
I suppose actually maybe I'll just have to stop it bit by bit. So she's enraged, and everyone has the right to protest. I mean, it's like she's almost touching upon like an oxymoron, I suppose, to a certain extent. Because we're enraged with how useless our government is. Like, we've told them what to do, and they're actually doing the opposite. They're doing, to begin with, like when Boris Johnson first came in, it was like they had 40 new explorations, oil and gas explorations, they were willing to give out to their mates, their mates in the private sector of the energy companies, who are making billions off resources that should be available all to the public. So energy shouldn't be in the private sector for people to profit from, who literally don't offer anything of worth apart from stealing and hoarding resources. So she's enraged with us, but she's not enraged with the billionaires who are making the planet uninhabitable. And like, this comes down to it just sounds patronising. I'm not trying to be patronising, but a lack of education. Like, we're not educated about this, but basically taught that, you know, the meaning of life is to work for capitalists and have your labour exploited. So if you're obviously, you know, they don't teach us like that, but propaganda really, you know, like, people always ask, like, what do you do for a living? It's like, as if like you're like, obviously, like, working is important, and doing things that are productive and offer value to the planet are important. So we almost like have this notion that like the work is like the work that we do, our jobs are a complete meaning of life, like and we have to pay to exist. We have to pay to exist on this planet. I mean, it's ridiculous. So she's enraged with the protesters, who she says, like, you know, they have a right to protest, and thinking that we're talking about the annihilation, the total annihilation of all life on Earth. Like, if we keep on living the way we're living, like, this planet is going to become uninhabitable. Parts of the planet are uninhabitable. It's only becoming more uninhabitable. So yeah, I mean, she needs to be enraged with the government. If the government just did their job, we'll get off the streets immediately. No one takes any joy disrupting it, but like, people aren't listening. Even like this video is an example of how corrupt our British establishment is. The BBC is in bed with the British establishment, and they're promoting propaganda like this viewpoint, which is perpetuated by the BBC, the Daily Mail, the Sun, etc. Like, this sort of like viewpoint that this person has, and it's not going to be the whole viewpoint. I was like, there'll be other people there be like, yeah, I really agree with that. This protest probably that they spoke to, but I didn't want to play them. They want to play these two. So what she said, she's enraged. Let's just play it.
Around ordinary folk not being able to get to work, hospital appointments, loads.
So ordinary folk, I mean, we're all ordinary folk. The dude up there, one of the dudes up there, is like an actual civil engineer. Like, he's super smart. Like, he knows how, like, what the solutions need to be made. Like, he's up there because he is so smart, and yeah, he knows his shit, and he knows his history about civil resistance. Like, you wouldn't have the right to vote if the suffragettes didn't go out and did like loads of really radical stuff. Like, they blew up letterboxes, they smashed windows at Parliament. We're talking about, we're blocking a road. Like, there's other routes, and like, no one takes any joy in disrupting like emergency services or anything like that. No one takes any joy whatsoever. But like, people aren't listening. Like, the petitions don't work, marches don't work. Like, 1 million people marched against the Iraq war. Tony Blair still went ahead and did it anyway. They don't give a shit about marches. They can ignore marches. They can't ignore this. They cannot ignore this. And there's these sort of, like, it's just basically simple shit. Government, do your job, and we'll go away. That's it. It's as simple as that. And like, I am genuinely sorry. Like, it disrupts people. Like, and I do sympathise. I completely do sympathise with people, and I do sympathise why she's enraged. But like, her anger is just directed at the wrong people. Her anger needs to be directed at this completely incompetent and corrupt, morally bankrupt government. They're useless, absolutely useless.
Disgraceful.
People who protest like this, they might be adults, but they're throwing toddler-like tantrums.
So that's ironic. I mean, like, I don't know if this video is actually messed up, or if there's audio was going, but he didn't come up. Oh well, I'm not editing this. So adults, yeah, they are adults, mate. Like, there's these two up there, like, smart, like, some really, really smart guy like Marcus, absolutely, super intelligent, knows exactly about the solutions, knows his history of civil resistance. They're anything but toddlers, mate. Like, you're the one that's a toddler, clearly. Like, you put forward a very weak argument. It's called an ad hominem. So you're by calling them toddlers, you're attacking their character rather than actually addressing the message at hand. So you're just, like, the demand is no new oil exploration, and your argument is, oh, they're toddlers. It's not a good argument, man. Not a good argument in the slightest. I'm just going to see if my mate's telling me to shut up. Don't think so. Like I said, I need to be quiet. I'm not editing this. So he's calling them toddlers, while having a toddler-like argument. Interesting.
It's the equivalent of a toddler sitting in the shop and saying, I'm going to sit here and hold my breath until I get what I want. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's a false. Well, is that a false equivalence? Maybe it's. I mean, there's some sort of logical fallacy in that. We're talking about the annihilation of all life on this earth, my friend. I'm not sure what you're called. I didn't see your name, but it's, in the grand scheme of things, blocking a bridge to try and get the government to just do their job is probably justifiable. I would say so, personally. I think these two will be able to justify it in front of a judge or a jury. And they're not having a tantrum. They're basically, this is last gasps saloon, if that makes any sense. Like, this planet's fucked. We're boiling out of control. This planet is getting warmer and warmer. 40 degrees in the UK. We broke our record by over like 1.4 degrees. It doesn't happen like that. It's usually like 0.1 of a degree when we break record-breaking temperatures. Like 60 houses burnt to the ground. It was the busiest, like the London fire, London, like the UK fire brigade has been in a very, 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 very long time. Like, these are completely reasonable, proportionate actions in the grand scheme of what we're facing with a government that just refuses to do their job. So yeah, I suppose that's all I've got to say about that. So I'll try and keep this video quite short, to be perfectly honest.
Nobody's going to respect that.
That's a completely baseless claim. Like, you don't speak for everyone, bro, so you don't respect it. But like, I think this revolution will cope without you, to be perfectly honest. I mean, we'll get there faster with you on board, and you not coming on board just say maybe because you don't like me. If you ever watch this, we don't like the way we're messaging. It's basically you as the equivalent. You know, the irony of you calling us toddlers. That is the equivalent of someone cutting off their nose to spite their face, because this is your cause, this is everyone's cause, this is like the people reporting it, this is your cause, the British establishment, everyone that lives on planet Earth, it's your cause. So what these two are doing is they're willing to sacrifice their freedom, they're potentially going to go to prison for this, to highlight the most important issue that is facing humanity and all life on this planet at this moment in time. The world is literally boiling out of control, and our government is actually pursuing a genocidal program that will kill people. And I suppose, like, with these two probably reporting on it, I can't remember, I haven't watched all of this video yet, it makes no surprise that the previous two commentators, members of the public, have their worldview, because the propaganda that the BBC and the way they talk about this story and the way, like, the messaging they do against protesters rather than focus on the message. Don't shoot the messenger, listen to the message.
In Dartford for us now. And Chrissy, it looks like they're still on the bridge at this moment.
Kate, the protesters tell us they have no intention of going anywhere. Yes, they're still very much hanging off the QE2 bridge for a second day. And of course, it is having major disruption on the roads and the surrounding areas. I've just spoken to one business owner just here, and he said he's had no deliveries since yesterday morning. Staff can't get to where they need to be either. We did speak.
So, you know, that's yeah, you know, obviously it's going to be part and parcel. It's like, it's hard to make these. You don't make the news really unless you cause a disruption, some sort of disruption, and as part and parcel of it, like getting this message out there. Just Stop Oil is pretty simple. You know, it's no new oil. The demand is no new oil. I think the name should be No New Oil rather than Just Stop Oil, because it will save them a lot of time and effort with like people that be like, what, Just Stop Oil? You can't do that. You know, the world will just blow up or operate. It's like, you know, the demand isn't to turn on fossil fuels right now. It's that the government stops giving out licenses to private corporations that are going to profit from the destruction of our only home. And so, yeah, let's listen to Morgan, because he is an absolutely amazing human being who speaks amazingly.
And this is what they had to say.
We're up here occupying the bridge as part of Just Stop Oil, because we demand that the government stops all new licensing and consents for oil and gas extraction.
But you don't need to be hanging in a hammock above Europe's busiest motorway to be making that point, surely?
You do. I mean, people have been going out in Westminster for the last 2 weeks and protesting on the roads, and it has not, you know, created an issue for the government. So we have to take these really desperate, dangerous acts, because they're the only thing we have left.
Cool. That's great. There's the fact that, I mean, the fact that that guy even questioned it. It's like, you don't have to do shit like this. Like, it just, you don't know, mate. You do. You're either living under a rock and you're completely ignorant. So it's like, why do you have your position if you're so ignorant? Or you're aware, like, of like the history of civil resistance. You're aware that this is actually working, and you're trying to discredit it because you're in the pockets of billionaires and you operate within the British establishment and you have your own agenda and worldview and you profit from this system that's actually killing people. So which one is it, that whoever that presenter dude was, ignorant or profiting from destruction of our planet? We're nearly done.
Police have described it as a complex situation due to the sheer height the protesters are at. They are liaising with the two men. They say Just Stop Oil understand the two men will only come down when they are brought down. But in the meantime, the roads around here are simply dire.
Alright, I think that's the end of the video. I'm going to pause it there because last time I did it, it just like went to the end and dark screen. It wasn't a good way to end it, so end it with this. So that was a quick Tim Talks video. Yeah, like I think they are down now, and well, absolutely hats off to both of them, Marcus and Morgan. You two incredible human beings. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for your bravery and your sacrifice. You are revolutionaries. If humanity somehow survives the climate and ecological, if humanity somehow survives the climate and ecological emergency, future generations will be making statues of people like you. Because you're incredible human beings, and you know, we need to come together. We need to start working together, and we need to be in resistance against this system because it is killing us all. These people are profiting from our demise. So let's have some unity, and we don't have to agree on everything, but having a habitable home, I think, is something we should be able to agree on. So. Right, yeah, alright, I'm going to wrap that up. That's done. No editing, just going to put this out there and see what feel free to share your comments below. And also, if you somehow made it to the end of this video, share, if you want me to do any other response videos, send them my way. So take it easy all. Peace out. Lots this is where the revolution starts. How many have I got? 27, I think. 27 revolutionaries on this channel. Let's get those numbers up, and let's stop those profiting billionaires and psychopathic politicians. All right, later all. Bye.